Fill out these logs exactly. Many years ago I was working in my state's police department. We got a new inspector at the station and he wanted to chart what all the sections of the station did and instituted a daily diary where we had to put in an account for every minute of the shift. Lots of grumbling from the troops over the next few weeks. The inspector would go off about the forms not being recorded properly every day at change of shifts, and they said that there would be consequences if they did not truly reflect what we did. I spoke to my shift in Q malicious compliance. I used to get into work 30-odd minutes early to fuel the car, gather my crime-fighting kit, wash the car and prepare for the shift. Now I didn't do this until the minute my shift started. I would then complete these tasks after having started, then calibrate the radar, see what black spots were to be targeted for the day, look at work emails, review the previous night's occurrences and a myriad of other things before heading out onto the road. Now on each and everything I did I would record it precisely, even recording the record on the record. Each traffic stop, each job, stopping to give directions or advice would go on the sheet. Then I would return to the station for lunch. Normally I would grab it on the go or eat it in my car. But hey, he wants the official day's duties. Our employment law required that each officer was entitled to 1/2 hour uninterrupted meal break each shift after 5 hours of duty. The inspector, trying to make the station more efficient, started to roster meals before this time. Boss tried to order us to take our meals as recorded on the roster. We all disregarded it and took our meals after the 5 hours. At the end of the day we attached the industrial award to the daily record and wrote as per industrial law, meal break taken at the first possible time after 5 hours. He went off and threatened us to take the meals as written or write-ups would happen. That was reported to the union, who threatened industrial and legal action which he would be personally responsible for. He was forced to rescind that threat. So, he gave up on that and doubled down on the daily reporting, writing officers up for non-compliance. I told them all I was doing, and the single page issued at the beginning of the shift was now 3 to 4 pages long, each and every day for 80 officers for 3 shifts. We swamped him with the information. In addition, if a job was broadcast we were forced to abandon our meal break and attend to the job. Most times we could not return to finish our meals, so often went hungry. Now the other part of our meal break rule was that if we did not have a full 1/2 hour uninterrupted meal break, then we would be paid the whole meal break. The boss had a habit of going into the meal room to have a bitch, complain or harass the officers in there. So, when he did this it was recorded as an interruption. After a few weeks productivity was down, hours wasted, his budget being blown out as he had to pay for interrupted lunch breaks, which he then denied payments until the union lodged a court injunction and took the police department to court for each and every single breach for each person and shift. This amounted to hundreds of matters and thousands of dollars. He said all the daily reporting logs with our interrupted meal breaks were somehow lost. That's okay, the union says, here are the copies taken. He argued that they were done after the court date and were false. But everyone also took copies after they were lodged with his admin assistant with his received stamp on it. Failing that, the department's solicitor approached the union with an offer for us to withdraw the matter. They offered 25% of what we were owed and all the reprimands would be lifted. It was rejected and the full 100% was demanded and the reprimands totally withdrawn and deleted from the records. His Honor ruled in our favor in every single matter. We were all awarded out meal money and compensation for the time wasted, with the department fighting this all the way. He was directed to pay when claimed and all reprimands deleted immediately or penalties would be issued. He had 2 days to comply. This was Friday afternoon, so he had the weekend to get rid of them. Took him until 9 p.m. Sunday night to do it, and he wasn't paid for the time. As we swamped him in a tray with over 160 pages of daily worksheets each and every shift every day, that's at least 480 pages a day of compliance. He then tried to demand that we only put serious issues down. We all refused, as he had already informed us all that if we did not put everything down, we would be charged with disobedience. But if we followed his new order, we would be disobeying his previous order. He then threatened to charge us all with disobedience if we did not do the new rule. The sergeant sent all this to the union with the threats and to his boss and his boss's boss. Wouldn't you know, several days later all his daily reporting sheets were not to be used any longer. Apparently, the union sat down with the district command bosses and let them know that this would be a continuing matter if the inspector was not moved, and that their own positions were now up for review of the mismanagement they allowed and the fine the department received from court. The commissioner of police was notorious for terminating those who stuffed around with the troops and dragged the department into court for mismanagement. They had already been embarrassed in court, had the police department receive court costs and fine for the breaches, and could see another court appearance looming and saw the damage he was doing to the station and promptly transferred him to the district office where he could not supervise anyone. His contract was not renewed 8 months later and left the department. Those who had known the inspector say he had no idea what problems he caused and was just trying to make the organization more efficient. When they told him how much he made things worse, he just said that the troops never minded missing lunch or eating in the cars before. They told him that his demand to strictly follow policy alienated everyone and to put another daily reporting sheet on top of the department's official daily diary was just superfluous. At the end of the day he had no clue why he lost his job. There were many other stupid things he did, like not issuing pens until the ones we had were fully out of ink, so we had no pen to sign the requisition, and his admin staff were instructed not to lend pens out to sign or we could buy a pen from them. The exemption to the rule that if it was lost we could get another one. Cue more malicious compliance.